Oh. Chadadonia. Like that? Tell the people that Chadadonia is back. Oh, yeah, it's philo time, man. So I got a philo for you. I'm sorry that we haven't been able to get it to you during market hours, for real. That wasn't my plan, the debt ceiling and everything else. I hope you've been having fun, though. I've been really locked in, too. So, honestly, the markets have been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun here with the Chad. It's been a lot of fun just seeing the history we're living in and even making it through another 6 months here. But what I want to talk about is something for everybody. It's what I was saying before. I do have some religious references, but I'm telling you, the practicality of this, man, and the practicality of achieving your long-term goals, and what I'm going to talk about here is just honestly something, man. My main goal is I really hope this gives you peace, and like I said earlier, I hope you get a real comprehension of time. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of us, we've heard it like, oh, the journey takes time, but it's just like I don't think we really comprehend it. And I don't think some of you guys in here, I think some of you are really young and you think you're not young, or you've been doing something for a couple of years and you think a couple of years is going to entitle you to everything, but it's not. But I'm just telling you, you're still really early. And I know some people, I feel like you're watching AI, you're watching new technology, like you're early in the game of life. And I just want a comprehension of this. And I hope that earliness, though, this is not a message to be timid. This is not a message to be complacent. And just because there's early in time, it doesn't mean do nothing. But there is something about it that just, I hope it gives you peace to align yourself on the right path and be able to move there and not get so emotional as things move in the process of actually building. Okay? That's what it is, man. So I'm excited about this philo. I'm gonna jump around a couple of places. Unfortunately, actually, no. I'll get into the bibliotheque a little later. I'll start with the first thing, Chad. This is what I said on one of the posts. It's very simple. Have you guys seen buildings being built around you? Have you guys, like, how many of you in your neighborhood have a new construction going on? Or is there like a building, is there like a mall being worked on? Honestly, if you're in San Diego, California, I could give you a very good example. If you're from San Diego, do you know something called Horton Plaza? Have you ever seen Horton Plaza over the last couple of years? Because if you haven't seen Horton Plaza, there was this mall in downtown San Diego. It was a very nice, that was the first mall I worked at. That's the one I worked there at the Foot Locker in Horton Plaza. That's where I got my first ever job. And they tore the mall down, believe it or not. It's dead because it's not a real mall right now. So they took it down and they've been building it. But if you've seen it over the last 3 years or 2 years or longer, they have still been building it. And this is the thing. I think all of you answered. You're like, oh, yeah, a ton of houses are built around me, a ton of buildings, a ton of this, a ton of... Great. Yes. How long have you seen those? Have you noticed, is there a building you've constantly been seeing getting built? I'm telling you, Horton Plaza, I've driven by it so many times and I just still see it getting worked on. And then there's another new building down the street from it and that thing was finished in 3 months. And then there's other buildings as I drive all over and I see some buildings finished, some not finished. I've seen some buildings, it feels like my whole life I've seen it being worked on. It's a wild concept because usually the last time I ever gave you a philo and I told you to look at the buildings around you being constructed, I told you to look at how big the hole is because you have to dig down before you could build up on anything big. That's its own little philo. But I hope you guys see that. not to dig down, but do you realize you've been watching some of these buildings right before your eyes every single day? And some of those buildings aren't even finished. And depending on the size of the project, the scope, it's like, dude, there's people working on that project every single day, every month. But even though it's not finished, and I'm like, man, I am watching some buildings being worked on for 3-4 years, and they are not done. And then I'm over here looking at myself and other things in business and life, and then I'm like, oh, is this finished? Or I'm like, is this over? Is this gone back? I'm like, wait a minute. Again, I was thinking about it. It really, in a weird way, it made me feel young. And I hope all of you feel young. And that's the first thing, is what I'm just trying to tell you. Even in the simple concept, Apple has bought an AR headset startup called Mira? What? Whoa, Apple just bought an AR headset. That's a company. Very, very weird. R? Yeah. Interesting. But, like I said, it made me feel a little young. But I think that's a great real-world example. And honestly, I don't know what you've been working on, but if you want to look at your life and you're going to tell me something isn't working, and then you could think of a building that you saw get built and isn't finished yet, what are you saying? It's a very crazy concept. It's just a baby concept, and I hope you attach this to just a lot of the other stuff, but that's the first part we're starting, okay? And just notice the timing and the building. And now here's the second part, because even understand, that's why I hope you can understand just what really a year means and 5 years in the building, right? But there's another part of it, and it's just like how we deal with the day-to-day, and then the ups and downs, and then the year by year, and then, so here's the next part. I told you to go look up this verse. I wanted you to find it out. But some of you, even if you do not read the Bible, I'm sure you have heard this headline, this news headline from the Bible. It says what? Where is it? Oh, no, I need to get to it. Right here. Even when I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid, for you are close by. Again, I think that's the watered down version. But right there, even when I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid. How many times have you heard that? Again, even if you don't believe. So it's crazy, because if you read this verse, or even then, like a lot of people, they'll go put this on a shirt, and you'll be like, I walk through the valley. You know what I'm saying? God walk through the valley. You know, it gets people hyped. It's like, it's strong, it's powerful. It's like, I will not be afraid. Wah-pa-pa, wah-pa-pa. So it's funny. So there's this verse. Some people will quote Ezekiel. The one I'm reading you now is Psalms 23. This is David. And he's talking. He's saying, my strength is renewed. I will not fear the darkest valley. I will not be afraid. The Lord and his staff protects me. Dude, it's powerful, right? Gets you hyped. But here's the funny part, is that it is so bipolar, you have no idea. And I think it says a lot about time to me. Because in the verse right before it, you know how that verse starts? Again, I will not be afraid. The Lord, I will walk through darkness. The literal verse right before it starts off, and he's like, God, why have you abandoned me? God, why are you so far away? I call to God, he does not answer. I lift my voice to the sky, I have no relief. I love it. Yeah, you're right. Fairy tale, right? I read you the first verse. I will not be afraid. You say fairy tale. Great. The reality is the verse ahead of it. Amen. 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 Because I think it's so real. And this is what I'm trying to tell you, is like, even right before greatness, right before your strength, in the process of building, Like, dude, even to get to the moment where you could be like, I will not be afraid, chances are right before that moment, you're like, God, why aren't you answering me right now? Dude, I thought I'm supposed to be good. I can't get hooked up right now. It's the whole verse ahead of it is this guy talking about how bad life is. About saying, my people reached out in the past, I'm abandoned. I know this. And then all of a sudden he flips to, but I will not be abandoned. What? So I like it, man. And again, it just reminds me of the buildings being built. It reminds me of time that's why I was like, I feel young. And I feel like it's so true that right before I'm like, I'm not afraid. It's funny how right before that moment you get to it, there's also something even bigger that happens that makes you feel like the building hasn't been moved. So, like I said, I hope this gives you some peace. So I don't know what you think this is supposed to make you feel, but really, like for me, it gave me peace. And it made me feel very excited about the future. It made me slow down a little bit and really view things in a more longer time frame. But then, and also even understand that some of the stuff in the process, the up, the down, the back and forth, it's very natural, I guess, to say the least. Maybe natural is an interesting word to use. But I thought I would give that to you, Chad. And I really hope some of y'all can apply this. Because like I said, I think some of y'all are young, whether you think you are or not. But you have time. Don't be timid with that time. But I hope you build on it. And sure enough, right before you get to the moment where you're like, oh, I got this, you're probably going to be like, dude, does somebody hear me right now? Seriously. And right before, you're going to be like, dude, everything is awful. But then right around the corner, the building might be done. And again, next time you look at that unfinished building, just pay attention to it. Seriously, because it's unfinished. And before you go making all the judgments about the unfinished thing, just tell me and then think about the ones that got built. And there you go. But Chattadonia, take that one to the bank. That is your philosophy, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you guys are subscribed. We're live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. Drop your thumbs up on the video. You're on mobile. Press high chat. X out the chat. Hit the thumbs up button. Second link for the Nightly Watch List and main channel. First link for the Scream Alerts boot camp and real estate course, baby. Amen, amen, amen. Ugh.